Alright, welcome back to another episode of Smoke and Mirrors with Rob, Dave, and Triz. This is episode 118, and in this episode, we're going to be giving our takes on the casting in Guy Ritchie's Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is looking pretty good. What lies further for the Creed franchise, as Michael B. Jordan lays it out for us, and Colin Farrell spilling the beans on the episode count for the Penguin series dropping on HBO Max. Are you living there,
Nice.
Bado?
Yeah, good big dog. Good. I just had a very productive Sunday.
Yeah.
What do you call it? First time in a while where I got home and just cleaned everything, made my bed up, and I was done by midday.
Hmm.
It was a good
Wow.
day. How you
That is a
living
good
there?
day. Yeah, good man. I found out that I can't go a weekend without having a nap.
Oh shit.
And O is getting old.
When Shan had kids, he was like, kids have been a godsend for me because the naps, the planned naps have
Yeah.
been such a savior for me and how I work.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I will go down for pause for 2 hours for his kid and then just fucking get up and get back to work and shit like that.
I had a 4-hour nap today. I just about started a movie and then I was like, what is this? And I had enough sleep too.
Yeah. For me,
man.
Friday, I finished work at 5 and then because we did the pod and all that, Oz just crashed after work.
Yeah.
Oz woke up 20 to 10 in the evening.
Jesus.
And then I was up. I ate some dinner, had a few things for dinner, and then smashed out the bear, watched the whole thing in one sitting.
That's wild. Sounds like a fire weekend.
Yep.
All right. Oh, snap. Sorry. We're also giving our thoughts on Shrinking at the end, so stay tuned for that too, people.
Yes.
Okay, so kicking it off, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is Guy Ritchie's, I think his next project, which is teeing up in April. I believe they're getting ready to film.
Yes.
And this one sounds really, really good. It's an idea from Winston Churchill and Ian Fleming, who wrote the Bond films, about creating this league, basically, and this sect of soldiers that kind of use different tactics to get at the enemy. It's basically spy shit. So it's got Isa Gonzalez and Henry Cavill attached.
Yeah.
So Cavill's landing on his feet with this one, you know what I mean?
100%.
But just recently, Carrie Elways has been cast. We got Alan Ritchson from Reacher, and also Henry Golding, who weirdly, this might be the closest that we get to him being in Bond.
Yeah.
But also Alex Pettyfer's going to be in this one as well. I haven't seen that since I'm Number 4. I haven't even watched Magic Mike, but he's in there as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Oz has watched both Magic Mikes.
Good. You going to the third?
Fuck no. Oz will watch that one in private, dog. That's my secret shame movie.
And then we got Henry Zaga from New Mutants. He's going to be in this one as well. And a couple of other people, but also Til Schweiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Inglourious. Hugo Stiglitz.
Hugo Stiglitz.
So I was excited about it, man.
Yeah, same. It seems like Guy Ritchie's getting back into his spy bag, considering, because I always forget it was him that directed Man from U.N.C.L.E. as well.
Yeah.
But do you reckon, obviously, if there weren't any allegations and the shit wasn't true, because that shit was found out to be true with Armie Hammer, that Hammer would be in this movie?
Ooh. I don't know. Maybe, because he can do the British accent pretty well.
Yeah. What do you call it? I reckon he would have been in here. But then I wonder if this is going to be more old Ritchie-esque, as in Lock, Stock, or if this is going to be more Man from U.N.C.L.E. Guy Ritchie, Sherlock Holmesy type shit.
Yeah. It seems like we don't get enough of that Ritchie, The Snatch, Lock, Stock, and then we get The Gentleman.
Yeah.
And it's funny how that shines.
Yeah.
Compared to some of his more sort of blockbuster-esque takes and whatnot. But yeah,
I think this is the formula for Richie now. Like he did, like, you know, what Mean Machine, Lock, Stock, Snatch, all that shit, and it was like just gangster flicks. And then he started changing it up, and then he puts out The Gentleman to, like, you know, hey, I've still got the chops for this.
still got it.
Yeah, and then he'll do a few more other mainstream films, and then come back and do another gangster flick.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. It's with that cast, it's got the capacity to be kind of like that rock and roller kind of like crew vibe.
Yeah,
You know, it's like the put together. It's almost like the long con mission type
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
What do you call it? It would be mad if Kebbell was back in here as well. Not as the same character, but if he was just in here. I like
Yeah.
Toby Kebbell.
Say, man. That adds a lot. Does a lot with a little.
Yeah, 100%. Him in Black Mirror was perfect because he's got the acting chops. That episode pisses me off.
Badly. It does. It really does. And I always don't know if it's hate. Like, it's such a good episode that I hate it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was explaining to B about the bear with Sugar as well. I was like, Sugar in Sydney, I was like, I hate him. But it's because they do it so well that I hate him. But yeah, no. This is exciting. I'm hanging.
Same. And there was also a trailer for The Covenant, which is Richie's next movie up. I think this is dropping in March as well, isn't it?
Yeah, this is on Amazon Prime.
Oh, shit. So we don't have to go to the theater to watch this one.
Not at all.
All right. So you said it was $55 million, the budget for this one.
Yeah.
It is wild. So the basic story for this is they're in Afghanistan. Am I right with that?
Yeah, they're in Afghanistan.
They're in Afghanistan, and Jake Gyllenhaal's basically on his rotation, doing a tour in Afghanistan. And he's got a local interpreter with him. And that local interpreter is kind of like helping him out, and he's telling him the lay of the land. Jake Gyllenhaal, being American, kind of like, I'll handle it from here. You know what I mean? Anyways, the interpreter ends up being right, and they basically get into a firefight with the Taliban, and Gyllenhaal gets captured basically, and the interpreter comes through, and he just fucks everyone up.
Yeah.
Then the interpreter proceeds to carry Gyllenhaal's character, who's like unconscious and just basically knocked out, for like 3 days over mountains and ranges and desert and all sorts of shit, to get him to safety. Gyllenhaal gets shipped back to the US, like repairs and everything like that. You also get a little bit of backstory in the interpreter.
Yeah.
They're like, the interpreter's like, oh yeah, I'm basically no one. I just wanna help. But he's got personal stakes in the shit because his son was killed.
Yeah.
And he's got a wife, he's got a baby, and like helping the American army is a little bit wild, because if that Taliban breaks through, they're gonna kill anyone that was helping the American army. So it's between a rock and a hard place. Anyways, the Covenant is basically the agreement that Gyllenhaal makes to himself that, hey, this guy helped me, I should be out there helping him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's almost like he's wrestling with this idea, like, oh my god, I'm so dead. You know what I mean? And then he has to like book it back to the Middle East, to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Because this guy's pinned down. He needs help. So it's Gyllenhaal's turn to repay the favor. Yeah. And he's like, I need to get there. And they're like, nah, you can't. This is not a sanctioned mission or anything. And he's like, but it's my mission. And then this like budget Johnny Cash song comes up. My greatest friend. Some shit playing.
Why is it like the Johnny Cash version of You Got a Friend in Me?
Lyrics for Randy Newman. Yeah, boy. I always like felt it was problematic when Randy Newman dropped the yeah, boy.
It's the most problematic yeah, boy in the world.
Badly. But yeah. So that's the main gist of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Gyllenhaal's got to go back, help this guy out. They don't show you too much, But the guy has been captured. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
This is very much like a extraction-esque type movie, except there's more to the start than there is to the end. As well as that, I was looking into that Dar Salim guy that plays the interpreter.
yeah,
And he was in like The Devil's Double. He's done a lot of like foreign films too. And
yeah.
he was in Game of Thrones for a few episodes
Oh,
as
nice.
well. Yeah. He was in 2011. That would have been the first or second season.
Okay, yep. That's good. Dar Salim is his name. Because in the trailer, it's all Gyllenhaal. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
only name. It's not like Gyllenhaal shares the title with Dar Salim, but from what
Yeah.
you see in the trailer, Dar Salim is one of the main components of that film.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I was like, I was wrestling with it in the trailer. I was like, it doesn't look like they're trying to make the connection. It's more like Gyllenhaal going like, this guy did me a solid. I should be helping him. You know how hard it is for me to have someone have this over me.
You got to let me have this. You got to let me have this. But no, like fucking for me with Dar Salim being here, this might be a sleeper because if they focus more on Dar Salim during that time, it might actually be good. Because it looks like he's doing a lot more of the like covert hiding from the Taliban in like enemy territory type, like behind enemy lines type shit.
Yeah.
So this would be fucking mad.
Which is a different movie. If you're the exploratory sort of army ranger going in there and like you're cautious, but if you're the O that knows all the tricks and a local, it's different.
1000%. Because like at the end of the day with this movie, what I'm focusing on for me is not Gyllenhaal. Like Gyllenhaal always brings his A game regardless.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since I've seen Gyllenhaal in like a low budget film, like Sans Southpaw, because that's still Fuqua and that's still done really well.
Yeah.
But I also haven't seen a Guy Ritchie film 55 million in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm hoping this is good. I don't know who's penning this script, but fucking I got a little bit of faith there.
Yeah. Could be good. Little Amazon, little something on a Friday, you know what I mean? March. Fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck around.
Fuck around, find out.
This is like the baseline for me is that Michael B. Jordan movie, the Tom Clancy one. No remorse.
Without remorse.
Without remorse.
That is a low baseline.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like fucking, if it's at least as good as that baseline, then yeah. So if it's better than that, shit. Fuck that movie.
Badly.
But no. So moving on. So Umbrella Academy season 4 has officially begun filming. You know, I've actually never ever watched this show, but very interesting. Final season as well. This is the series finale.
Yeah.
Very interesting to me. But then, how long has it been since season 3? Has it been 2 years? Or was last year already?
No, last year they dropped a season as well.
Shit.
They took 2 years to get to that one because of COVID and everything.
Yes.
So like that was like the long pause.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like kind of got production up and running and got that one out. And then this one's coming out.
Sick.
Yeah. It's crazy that they're going to wrap it up. I like the show.
Yeah.
It's got its ups and downs. The crew is good. The characters are good. The arcs are nice. They kind of switch it up every season. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this one.
All right, cool. I might start watching. There's a few things that I need to start watching. Like fucking B gave me the hookup as well and was like, you really go watch Shameless. Like if you like Jeremy Allen White and The Bear, he's similar in Shameless, so you got to check it out. But then I also saw Shameless is just like a dirty sex show. So I was like, why do I need to sit down and watch this?
This guy, I got enough dirty sex in my own life.
Please.
Yeah, for me with Shameless, I look at it's been on for like 13 seasons. I'm like, I don't know if I can commit this much time.
Yeah. So I'm like, 10 seasons, fuck. I've got to get through a lot. But then, I'm not going to lie, contradictory because I'm rewatching House right now.
This guy.
Fucking, so this has got to be it then.
Yeah.
But no. Sorry,
you go. No, you go. I had nothing.
So I was just going to say, on top of that as well, fucking for anyone who was a big Frasier fan, we're getting a revival. So it looks like majority of people will be returning, but it's begun filming, and James Burrows is doing the first episode titled "The Good Father." So, if anyone who doesn't know James Burrows, he's the same director from Cheers, the original Frasier, Will and Grace, all those classic, sitcoms from back in the day.
Yeah.
This is James Burrows. He's on top of that. Man's did nearly 300 episodes of Cheers.
Jesus.
It's a long time, man. He was
a
behind
lot of
that
Cheers.
camera. Yeah. Ever tell you I got told off for Cheers?
No?
Yeah, because I was at work ages ago, and I was like, why did Woody Harrelson wait until the twilight of his career to start acting? And then one of the boys was like, how dare you utter Woody Harrelson's name in this building and not mention Cheers? Got a little sweaty under the collar, man. I had to leave immediately.
But was he acting, though?
Was he good?
Was he a main? Oh, man. It's crazy with Frasier because he was in Seattle, but in this season, moving to Boston.
Yeah.
He's back in Cheers territory.
Yeah.
So they basically say that there's cast in Cheers that's going to show up in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is more like the farewell tour. But that
100%.
title of this episode,
Yeah.
was it Loving Father?
The Good Father.
The Good Father. The father in the show, he actually passed away in real life.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I wonder if this is the send-off.
Yeah, because he passed away after the show obviously ended its original run.
Yeah. I was like,
This one might have some feels like that's the reason why he's leaving Seattle and going back to the place where everybody knows your name. Cheers that theme song had no reason being that fucking that good.
I know. Fucking there were so many shows back in the day that had fire songs though. No, it was a mad fucking theme song.
What?
SWAT Cats. SWAT Cats for me was excellent because I had the riff and everything.
Gummy Bears.
Yeah.
The soul that they picked up in that theme song.
I know. How are you going to ignite the flames of my heart with that fucking song? Fucking yeah. I was could even cry through that song if I wanted.
That's how I feel about Cheers though. One side's like grooving and the other side's like, where everybody. And that just going back to Umbrella Academy, only 6 episodes for the finale.
Wow.
Yes, I don't know if they're going to be longer episodes.
Yeah.
They haven't confirmed that at all. But yeah, only 6 episodes. Little quick run through. It's about 4 episodes less than a normal season.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or 6 episodes less, maybe.
So, was Gerard Way very heavily part of the creation of the show?
I mean, he wrote the comic.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the actual show. They do use a lot of My Chemical Romance in the show, though.
Nice. I'll look forward to that then. I love My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. Favorite My Chemical Romance song?
Ooh. That's actually a really good one. It's probably bloody thingy. The classic. The Black Parade.
Really?
But then, so it's like a 3-part series for that Black Parade. There's the song after as well. I Don't Love You is excellent. That song is so good.
I got 4 that I always rotate.
Yeah.
And it's Teenagers.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
I'm Not Okay.
Yeah.
The Ghost of You.
Yes.
Yeah.
Helena?
And Helena. Yeah. My Chemical Romance got bangers. I'd be there for that last little runoff that they have. If they ever did a concert, I'd just be there for the last 20 minutes.
Did you know Green Day was at the start of the Simpsons movie?
Nah, I've never watched the Simpsons movie.
Simpsons movie has Green Day at the beginning. I remember seeing the Simpsons movie at the movies. I didn't realize it was that short. B was watching it here the other day. And legit, it was 53 minutes or something, and then it was finished.
Fuck?
I know. I was like,
how was that a feature?
Oh, I swear this was longer. Pause.
All right, so moving into another show that's going to drop on Apple Plus, right? Putting it together now, starring the legendary Tom Hardy and the absolute killer, legendary Zazie Beetz, who's just been popping up in kind of everything. Nice
Yep.
little run there in Atlanta, Domino and Deadpool 2. Kills it. So they're going to star together in a show called Lazarus.
Mm-hmm.
And it is it Norwegian or Swedish?
Norwegian.
Norwegian. It is Norwegian.
Yep.
It's based on a popular book series that sold over like 10 million copies. This
Yeah.
is almost like a Hannibal Lecter Clarice-esque sort of story that they're telling. I'm not too sure if that then evolves and they keep the same sort of dynamic, or like the settings change, much like Silence of the Lambs into Hannibal and whatnot. But the story is that Zazie Beetz is going to Tom Hardy's character and getting all this information to help track this killer that's kind of been around for a while. And
Yeah.
it all gets kicked off when this guy wanders out of the woods and he's all covered in blood and shit like that. And police kind of pick him up. And you find out that him and his sister were taken years ago. And he managed to escape.
Shit.
I don't know if he's just the killer. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the investigation that's kind of going on. I like this. Zazie Beetz she speaks German, I think.
Mm.
So I don't know if she'll speak the language. She'll be a native of Norway or what's kind of go on. But I'm pretty sure Tom Hardy's going to have some muffled Norwegian voice.
Oh, 100%.
That everyone will need subtitles for, so maybe that's why they're putting it on Apple.
Fucking hell, if The Revenant is anything to go by, you're gonna need, like, fucking subtitles for the hard of hearing.
Fucking in the Revenant, he just sounds like Ted Levine. You know, it's like Buffalo Bill in that.
I know. Pull us in the fucking mask.
Man, it sounds great. I like these kind of these serials and the dynamics and the investigative approach that they take to some of it. That Clarice show, weirdly, that just like they said season 2 is on its way, and then just black bagged it. You didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah.
It was actually all right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like, all right enough that you'd watch a second season?
Yeah. And that chick did well. That chick did well as Clarice.
Okay.
But everyone, all the real heads is waiting for Hannibal to return.
Oh, 100%.
When they do that revival.
It still annoys me to this day that they didn't just carry it on at like Netflix or like Amazon or something like that. Like, I reckon if Amazon was bigger then, when it was canned, they would have picked this up for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they would have had all the rights to be able to just fucking put in the violence, put in the swearing too.
Yeah.
Would have been good. Because everything I've heard about Mads in that show is that he was impeccable.
He might be my favorite Lecter.
Wow. Okay. But
you go.
Sorry, Doug. I was just going to say he's very adaptable when it comes to that. I've found that with Mads. Yeah. Like, you put him in a role and he works it. Like, he opens up the clinic.
But he's so good because in there, he's hiding in plain sight. And you kind of see how strategic he is with all of his shit. I just loves it. It's my shit.
Yeah. What do you call it? Whenever I saw like short snippets of him, it gave me Lucifer vibes. Like that very like, I'm smart. I'm smarter than you. And I know what I'm doing. I'm composed. Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we've got Creed 3 on the way, all right? Like, I'm hanging for this movie. And I was thinking, like, all right, cool. I'm expecting Creed to be a trilogy. I don't expect it to pull the same Rocky punches, AO. But, like, Michael B. Jordan speaking to IGN, and he was like, oh, for sure. Creed 4 is, like, happening. That's definitely happening. And he's like, on top of that, and I hate to say it, but the Creed verse, I want there to be spin-offs.
CCU.
Far out. But, like, Cool. Creed 4. That can happen. Like boxing movies, you always enjoy that shit. As long
Yeah.
as it's got a montage and it's got a cool fight at the end, I'm down.
Yeah.
But as well as that, I just don't want there to be the same beats as the 5 Rockies that came before.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as long as the stakes are there, because it's always the emotional, like their journey,
Yeah.
the fighter's journey, all the shit that's happening that affects their mental rather than their physical, because they always put in the work. But as soon as they fix the mental, then that comes out like swinging. Just gets that second wind. I was always like that. But with the spin-offs, I was just thinking, like, can you imagine if they were like, this is part of the Rocky, and then the 2 dots, Creed, 2 dots, Drago. Like, that's the title of the film.
Oh, God. Like, all I need now is just like, all right, cool. So he's fighting like the dude that he got like caught with. Cool. That's fire. This is the Clubber Lang now. But now what's the journey? What's the arc for Creed? He's got everything. Rocky was perfect because it was just like Rocky was a bum. Rocky gets civilized. Rocky gets a new fighting style. Rocky has to avenge his best friend.
Yeah. Rocky becomes a bum again.
Yeah. It was cool shit.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, spin-offs are in the works. Creed 4 is definitely happening. We'll just have to see what happens from here. I'm hanging to see this movie though.
Yeah.
I need to see what happens.
Same. March Creed 3 is dropping.
Yep.
It's Colin Farrell. Was talking about the Penguin show that's going to drop on HBO Max soon. And then he kind of just said, I think that one's going to be like a part 1, and that'll be about 8 episodes, something like that. And I was just like, all right, cool. Just let her rip, Farrell. Giving away all the details. 8 episodes is a good length. Pause.
Yep.
Like, you're not killing it, whatnot. That to me, that being 8 means that they've reduced the filler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that seems about perfect for a crime sort of drama. And the events that will play in this is going to be the events in between the Batman 1 and the Batman Part 2.
Yeah.
So
it works out really well. Like, I'm excited to see it because Colin Farrell was one of the highlights of the Batman for me.
Yeah.
Because he played that so well. It was such a good evolution for Colin Farrell for me. Because I always used to get nervous with Colin Farrell putting on an accent and then on top of that makeup. Yeah. But it looks like he's really like, sharpened his craft and things like that. And he killed this.
Yeah. I think he can be likable as his character. I think that's one aspect. But then you haven't seen what happens in the personal life of Oz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how are they going to humanize this character to get you to kind of root for him? Because obviously, like, it might be a limited series. They also might continue it. They're obviously going to continue it in the movies. How do they make you kind of root for him, but still see him as a villain? Because when the Batman Part 2 hits, is he then like, is he going to be like a full-on villain? Or is he going to be the sort of almost like an ally to Batman?
Right. Yeah. Well, it's weird when you say that. Like, if you look at the Arkham series for Batman, Oswald, while he was like, a villain, you just beat the shit out of him a little bit and he'll give you what you need.
Yeah.
So there was like that weird sort of agreement. Let me just smash up the iceberg lounge a little bit. Let me just show you that I'm Batman. And now you give me what I need.
Yeah.
And that was cool. But we also we haven't seen the ferocity of the Penguin. So that'll be interesting to see how Colin really does this whole takeover thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now with Falcone out the way, he's on the cards there because he was the right-hand man. So I want to see what he's going to do with that. Because if it involves him getting violent, that's mad. Or even if it involves him doing more diplomatic stuff, cool. But also expect a lot of things in between the lines where it's like, yeah, we'll do this, and then it's just like put a car bomb under that.
It wasn't me. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah, 100%.
They might even use this character just like expand the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like bring in other characters like Hugo Strange or what, you know what I mean? Like little
Yeah.
intros into that. You might get a little bit more on Joker as well. Like even if you get to see Joker getting released from prison or something that means that the Batman Part 2 won't need to be 3 hours again.
Oh god, yeah. Every time I sit down to try and watch that movie, I can't. Like I get past the Riddler killing that guy at the start, and then obviously Batman beating up all those dudes at the station, and then I get bored.
Yeah.
Like now the talking commences. Just over it, man. I feel like I got to watch that movie at the cinemas properly. Like if that comes out at IMAX, I'll watch it.
Fucking oath. Yeah.
Alrighty. So just quickly as well, I know we've had a lot of Gladiator 2 news over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But we've officially gotten a film starting date, which is March this year. And it's prepping for a November 22nd, 2024 release date. So it looks like it's all coming together now. It's still weird to me to think like, you know, that Gladiator Collector's Edition DVD from years ago, we're finally getting a sequel now. But I guess that's the flavor of the month of the last couple of years.
That's like Gladiator for me was never the movie that needed a sequel. I've always seen it as a one and done. It's almost like that's a line that's being crossed now, is that, you know, we're going to get a sequel. Like, we need a sequel to that.
Yeah, it's almost like they're just going to be like, all right, cool, and now we're getting a sequel to Man on Fire.
Yeah.
Denzel's
Fatal Attraction.
Dumb. Stupid, man.
All right, so for our last piece of news, so Colin Trevorrow has set up his next movie to direct. This one is called Atlanta. So this one's been in the works for a little while now. So from an original script by Charmaine the Great, which sounds like a name that's like, hey, it's me, Charmaine the Great. But yeah, they've had this in the works for a while, and it was going to be Trevorrow's next film set up at Universal. But then after Dominion, which is a wild thing, I don't know if that's just politics, studio politics there, but after Jurassic World Dominion, they optioned not to put it together and to run with it.
Yeah.
So now it's being picked up by another studio. I forget who it was that actually picked it up.
Skydance?
Skydance, that's right. So this one looks to be like a big tentpole feature. And if you think, like, Atlantis was the city that was most technologically evolved and kind of advanced.
Yeah.
And then they pushed too far, and basically everything exploded and they drifted into the sea. And then like from there, it's like, did their civilization then live under the sea like Aquaman?
Yeah.
Or was it like the Disney Atlantis, the Lost Empire film, and they've got their own little like pocket, like deep down in the Mariana Trench or something like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they still live and they breathe air and whatnot, but they're still advanced, technologically advanced.
Like that's right, because they had the stones. That's mad. And they're just secluded away from normal civilization. You never know. By the way, there was a kid in B's class that called the Marianas Trench the Marinara Trench.
I'll make that mistake today.
Respect. But no, this sounds cool. I don't know if this is typecasting with attaching Colin Trevorrow to direct, since he does all these big fantastical films.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it is. Like, I like that they're changing little bits of it too, where it's like it's in between Indian Ocean and all that too. Should be cool.
Yeah.
I like this stuff. I like the archaeology discovery movies.
Yeah, but then, you know, it depends on who the character is that they're going to put the POV on.
True.
Is it going to be the Jar Jar outsider
Yeah.
that will then like sort of I found Atlantis, or is it going to be the actual Atlantean that will have an issue with society, kind of going through it, and that's how you kind of get introduced to everything.
True.
So is it going to be like Stargate? Know what I mean? Or is it going to be Apocalypto?
True. You know, I only ever properly watched Stargate last year.
Stargate has a fire first 60 minutes. That first 60 minutes of Stargate, for me, is the like one of the movies that are at the peak of like that archaeological investigation type thing. You know, where he's kind of they meet him in the rain and shit like that. Everyone laughs him out the room and shit.
Yeah.
But he's really got the answers and stuff. And then like he figures shit out, and he just like wipes the floor with all these other scientists and shit like that. And then, and then he ends up creating the gate. And I think that's the most interesting part of that film. And as soon as they go to that different land, it just turns into the usual popcorn bullshit.
True. Yeah, it turns into the biggest fucking action movie as well. I feel like Kurt Russell was underused and overpaid for that movie.
Never overpaid. You get what you pay for, Russell.
All you get is steely glares and maybe a cool motion every now and then.
Badly. Well, that is the character that like they wanted him to be, eh? Can you believe that was MacGyver that took that role over?
Yeah.
MacGyver, dog.
So, have you seen that guy recently?
Nah. Was it Richard Dean Anderson?
Yeah, Richard Dean Anderson. Like, he stayed in shape even into his 60s, he stayed in shape. But now, he was just like, I don't need to do it. And he's full overweight now and old.
Wow.
It threw me off. Because I remember seeing him in his, like, early 60s, late 50s. Dude was still in shape, killing it.
Yeah. How's me going, wow, and I don't do anything? Wow, I can't believe he let himself go, and I'm sitting down to like a kilo of pasta every night. Oh, man. That's a wrap on all the news. Oh, sorry, you go.
No, that's all right. Just quickly, I just had a thought in my mind. What if they either made a movie or a series about Russell's character prior to, like, the traumatic events that occurred and him leading into Stargate?
That'd be fire. It'd be a drama, though.
Yeah.
Because that's a dead son story.
Yeah.
And it was like, there's no action adventure sort of like getting over it, because that was like visibly like traumatized by that. You know what I mean?
He was
like
quiet.
He's contemplating like suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that'll be cool to actually get into that. Roland Emmerich, hook us up.
Well, even if they did like a remake of Stargate, which I reckon will be on the cards in the next 10 years, they will think about a remake of Stargate. They had a successful show that had spin-offs and all this other shit. Of course, they're going to think about how do we get back to that IP and then like boost it up so it becomes another blockbuster again.
Yeah.
But no doubt that like they would use that character to kind of be the in as well.
Yeah. 1000%. Like, for me, it feels like Amazon's on this giant tear of just acquiring IPs.
Yeah, and Fire ones too.
Yeah, so I reckon they'll come around and just like have all the Fire IPs for a little bit. They'll do the same thing that Netflix did, where they just spend millions.
Yeah.
And then I reckon 2027 they'll slow down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be the same trajectory there.
Yeah.
But Netflix still had the best and the longest tear when it came to that shit.
Yeah.
Like, they were back, man, 2014 maybe.
Yeah, Netflix is 25 years old.
Yeah. Like, I remember like the physical Netflix boxes in the States in the movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I remember us getting Netflix and it was just like, this is everything I need.
Yeah. Do you know what they have on Netflix in the States? And it'd be like, what the hell? Why don't we have anything like that over here?
Before Disney Plus was a thing, Disney's Hercules was on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most unclean.
All right. That is a wrap for all the news this week. getting into the thoughts. Shrinking was, I think, the newest and the biggest thing that kind of came out this week. Episode 3, fire episode.
Yeah.
I kind of felt that half an hour was like too short, and I think that's the thing because they only released 1.
Yeah.
If they released 2, I'd kind of like be in on the journey a bit more and kind of get my fill. But this just leaves you wanting more.
Yeah.
But the episode was about really sort of how do you kind of position like your feelings. So in the episode, we have Gabby, who's played by Jessica Williams. She's kind of she finds herself in a situation where she gets caught out for having an affair by Jimmy, played by Jason Segel, right? But then she explains, and he kind of approaches her. She explains to him, sorry, that she's not having an affair. Actually, she's getting a divorce, and it's getting finalized the next day. So I was like, okay, so this is all right. But the way Jimmy kind of feels is like, he should feel bad and concerned and everything. But then Harrison Ford's character, Phil, who, like, Harrison Ford killed it in this one. But yeah, he tells her, hey, like, you should be there for her. It's not about your feelings. But anyways, she has a divorce party and Jimmy shows up. And then they almost have this moment where, like, she's thinking through the divorce. And she's like, yeah, I didn't think about it, but I'm having second thoughts. And I'm feeling bad about it. Because her ex is like an ex-addict as well. So is he going to relapse and stuff? And what sort of comes with that? Harrison Ford's character, Phil, Dr. Phil, he's legit called Dr. Phil. I don't know if it was in the earlier episodes, but you realize in this one that he's got Parkinson's. That's kind of that's on the way. He's not full-blown Parkinson's yet, but he's got all the markers and whatnot.
Shit.
And that affects everything. His driving, like how he is with his patients. So it's almost like the sword of Damocles is hanging over his head.
Yeah.
And everyone else is concerned for him. But for him, he's kind of like, well, I passed all the tests, so I should be all right. And then we also get what's her face from Just Shoot Me. She used to play Nina in Just Shoot Me. Anyway, she shows up in this as well and kills it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Jimmy, who also is kind of estranged from his daughter. There's a big old distance there. Makes a little step forward to actually getting closer to her because she's also giving him a chance now. So she's coming to the party, and he also realizes that Harrison Ford's Dr. Phil has also been helping his daughter, Alice. So he gives Jimmy the same advice that he gives Alice, and then Jimmy puts it together, and basically they have like this confrontation, and Jason Segel's basically like, I've got something to say. And Harrison Ford's listening to him, and he's like, thank you. And Harrison Ford's like, how the fuck do I take that? You know what I mean? Doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really, really good, like, emotional episode. And they strike the perfect balance in this. And just when you think, like, the funnies are there, then, like, the emotion hits deep and everything. And it's the best form that I've seen Harrison Ford in.
Wow.
For a good little while.
Not bad at all. Harrison Ford also hasn't been taking a lot of big parts recently. Like, I feel like him playing Solo and his send-off as Solo was the biggest piece I'd seen from him in the last couple of years.
Yeah. So Dave was saying yesterday, he was like, man, Harrison Ford has been playing like all these older characters. So this is the first almost original character that he's played.
Yeah.
And he's able to just do whatever. Well, not whatever, but he's able to really shine in it because he can do, like, he doesn't have to play in that same ballpark that he was with those
Yeah.
other characters. So he can kind of flex different muscles.
What do you call it? You're right. Like Harrison Ford was very much so always in that same pocket forever.
Yeah.
And it's only coming up to what Harrison Ford is like fucking 87 or something right now.
That's wild.
Yeah, and he's branching out. But still, regardless of the age, good on him.
Yeah.
Like maybe we need like just sad Harrison Ford.
It's not even sad Harrison Ford. It's
Mm.
almost like Harrison Ford, like this character is him addressing the tough guy roles that he's had before.
Yeah.
And because he himself in the show is a therapist, psychologist, a clinician, he almost knows how to define all the bullshit.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. And it's cool to see him in that position. Like I haven't watched the show yet, but I need to get into it.
Yeah, man.
Always
90
fun.
minutes. Ain't too long. Ain't too far along to catch up.
Yeah, my biggest thing, right, and this is something I really need to get over, is that when new shows come out, like I'm either like partially interested from the beginning, Last of Us, for example, and then I'll
Yeah.
watch it straight away.
Yeah.
But then it's almost like I have to wait for the crowd hype to get into everything else. Like
Yeah.
The Bear came out when, and I'm only watching it now when I should have watched it back then because I would have been just in.
Same. Yeah, I mean, we're in now. Pause. So I was just onto it. But for me, it's the barrier for me is if I've missed like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah. Okay.
Only now am I going back and watching The Wire because I've got time. I don't have to binge it all before the next season comes out.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of shrinking, for me, this is 3 for 3. You know what I mean? So I'm going to keep watching this one. And yeah, if you're not watching Shrinking, check it out. It's not that big of a load to take on. Pause. Nice little Thursday, Friday dropping show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth it. If you like Ted Lasso, if you like Scrubs, this is that. This is that one.
Do you feel like Apple TV is still consistent with their releases? Like they've been quality?
People are saying that Apple TV is like the sleeper streamer.
Yeah, like they don't have a lot going on like content wise, but it seems like everything that they're dropping has been of like a reasonable caliber that's a lot higher than most.
Yeah. Their Apple originals are really, really good. For me, what I've seen with C, and that's the only sort of show that I've watched long term over 3 to 5 years, is that they didn't know how to stick the landing. And that might be a change of the guard in terms of the creators and whatnot, and also COVID.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Like I haven't checked out Servant or any of the other shows on Apple TV. I've heard Pachinko is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But
I've been hearing
again, I haven't checked that out just yet. But from the trailers, it looked great.
Yeah. Because I'm just wondering if Apple's going to be the boutique streamer forever, or if they're going to start picking it up later on.
I think there's a plan. Because there's always a plan for a streamer. And it's always that long-term, like, yes, I'm giving you this now. And it's sort of like little tidbits and whatnot. But then later, we're getting the Netflix. You're getting a movie a week for the summer. Every Friday, you're getting a movie or a show or something. Yeah. And then, like, you're getting these shows peppered in throughout. You're getting, like, this reality show. And then this is coming over these old catalog titles and whatnot. It's just, yeah.
Very true. Like, because I'm just wondering, with the business model, because Apple isn't just a streaming service, right? They've got a lot more, which makes a lot more too. And the same with Amazon too. Like it's almost like a streamer is a side hustle for these guys.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, I reckon it would be cool if Apple stayed in that sort of niche market of releasing what they want to release and not overdoing it.
Yeah.
because I reckon that's how they'll maintain that same level of quality and consistency. Like, not to like ramble on
Yeah.
about this shit, but I was just so curious about it. Like, it was just running through my head just then.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is how Amazon and Apple wins.
It's definitely the properties, eh?
Yeah.
Because if you have a Squid Game,
Mm.
that Squid Game season was watched by more people on Netflix, you know what I mean, than any other streamer. It's like 250 billion hours or something like that.
Fuck. Yeah.
So if they focused on the quality and the property doesn't have to be a known property, which I
Yeah.
think is what Amazon's kind of going for.
Yeah.
They're going for give me the stuff that people know, and then we'll make shows out of that.
Yeah.
Like book properties or game properties or like old movies and stuff like that. Whereas Netflix is like, yeah, I'm gonna adapt like the comic books and sort of get like the biggest creators in the world to make their original IP or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I find Apple tells like these really human stories that aren't blockbuster level,
Yeah.
but look and sound and are presented perfect.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Mm.
Like, even just looking at the trailers for a lot of your Apple shows and movies, they look a cut above the rest.
Yeah.
100%. And from the episodes I watched to see, even that looked unreal.
Mm.
And that was the beginning of this Apple stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I still haven't watched, what's that Joel Kinnaman one? The space one, The First Man or whatever it's called. Not that.
For All Mankind?
Yeah, even that looked great in the trailer for the trailers.
I've heard people say that's the best thing on Apple.
Wow.
Some people have even said that's the best thing on TV right now. Like, the space heads and stuff like that. People that really love
Yeah.
like astrology and all that, and NASA and stuff.
Mm.
They love the show.
True.
But then they've also got the Korean stuff.
Yeah.
They've got the foreign stuff. And yeah. Still got to watch that Echo 3, but what I watched of that was great too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What was that other show? I don't think it was Apple. The one with the brains, the Korean one.
Yeah, Dr. Brain.
Dr. Brain, yeah.
Yeah, that's Apple as well.
Did you end up finishing that off?
No, I fell asleep in an episode and then didn't know where I was, and I didn't want to go like search through the episode in case. Yeah, it's just dumb.
Fair enough.
But from what I watched, it was fire.
Nice. Oh, good. But send us off there, big dog.
All right, that is a wrap on all the news and all the reviews. Thanks for joining us. If you watched us live, thank you so much. Or if you're catching it on whatever DSP you listen on, thank you. We'll check in again on Thursday. This Thursday, shit changes again. I'm dropping, or we're dropping a normal weekly midweek episode as audio. So look out for that. But yeah, follow us on all social media: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. If you want to talk shit. But yeah, love yourself, love movies.
Vape more, smoke less, and wash your ass. Cheerio.